All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Mind Show Publishers, where we live that passive income life one idea at a time. So, this episode, we're going to talk about my user testing challenge. If you guys remember, I said for the month of September, I was going to see how many tests I could actually complete to see how much money I can make. I had heard about this income work stream, and I just wanted to try it out. A lot of things that I do on my channel, I will try them out if I see it's something that can be profitable. And then other times, I'll just tell you guys about them. It just depends on how my time is actually going. But this one, I actually took on this challenge. So let's see what my results are. Okay, so we are over here on google.com. We're going to go to the user testing website. It's probably going to automatically go in because I've already signed in. So as you can see, it's already showing different tests out here that's available for me to actually go through the process to see if I can get chosen for a test. I'll just show you an example of what it looks like. So this is my screen when I actually come in on usertesting.com. As you can see, it shows available tests, completed tests, my profile, messages, and then the help center. And then down here, you'll see a little survey, and it just says, please answer the following questionnaire to see if you qualify for a series of upcoming tests. Just so you guys know, once you sign up for an account, you'll get different surveys that come through like that. And it's basically just trying to qualify you for more tests that comes through. When you first set up your account, it's going to ask you some basic questions just to get an idea of what type of knowledge or experience that you have. If you look at my other video, I tell you about that. I go into a lot detail on what it means to be on user testing, how to actually go through and complete a test once you've been approved to do tests on a site. I'll do a quick one just to show you how they filter you or they ask questions. I may get a test, I may not. Let's just see. I'm only going to do a couple of these. My main purpose for this video is to show you my results for September. But let's just see what some of these do. So this one says, if any, select the organizations or products that you currently have an account with. So I don't have an account with any of these. Sometimes when they create these tests, they don't create them in the right way. There should be a setting down here that says none of the above. Because if you choose one of these, it's like you're lying, but that's the only way you can get out of this test, or you just click X up here and it says, I don't want to take this test. The other test that is showing on here, all of these are ones that I will have to pull up on my iPhone, or if you have an Android, you can do that. But none of these right now, since I'm on my laptop, I can't pull these up. Okay, so let's go down to this one. This one is a screener for $30. Which of the following best describes the area or department in which you work in? So down here, you would choose any of these that match up with what your current job is. So I'm just going to select that, click next. And as you see, they weren't looking for somebody that had a background like that. So that's how quick it is to answer the question to see if you can get to the next step on the test. This one, how large is your company? So we're going to say 5,000 plus. And just so you know, when you hear that little doorbell ring or that little bell chime, that means a new test has came into my queue to see if I can qualify. All right. How often do you work with website traffic data? Let's see. It depends on this. Like if you have your own website, you can look at different things like this. I would say a few times a month just to check that. And then on here's got which of the following best identifies your current role. And this is the second question on this actual test. You can see down here there's 3 of 8 before you can actually qualify. And on this one, let's see. I would say web designer, click next. So I didn't qualify for that particular one. So that's the process on how you can actually go through. So that's enough on that. Like I said, this video isn't about how to qualify for a test. I want to show you what I actually did. So let's go up here to completed tests. And what you're going to see are all of the tests that I did qualify for. And what I want to do is to show you what my results were for September. So I have 2 pages of results. Like if I go to page 2, you'll see the first test up here is August 31st. So it's going to August. What I want to talk about on this video are only the September tests, because that was my challenge for the month of September. I was going to see how many tests I could qualify for, then to show you how much money I actually made with this particular work stream. And I'll tell you now, there were a lot of tests that came through. Like over here, like I said, just to look back at them, you can see now right now it's showing that, and it'll always do that. It'll jump back and forth. So this one up here, this is a $60 test. It's not telling me the number of tests that I have, but as you can see, and it's probably making you dizzy, all of these tests out here I can click on to see if I qualify for, and I'm all the way at the bottom now. So I don't know how many tests this is. It looks like it's about 30 or so tests. I'm not going to go through these. This may be something I'll do a little bit later, but let's go back. So completed tests, I have 2 pages of tests. As I said, on the second page, these get into August and previous months that I tested. We're only going to focus on the first page. So let's count up the tests that I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So what it's showing you is for the month of September, I was able to complete a total of 25 tests. Now, just to explain with that, it doesn't mean that there weren't more than 25 tests out there. I only qualified for 25 of those tests. And I will tell you, I went in every day, but I was not solely dedicated to figuring out, which tests I was going to be able to do. When I had some time, I went in and I tried to go through, the surveys. But I didn't do this all day. I picked a certain time that I was going to go in and just say, okay, for 30 minutes, let me just go through and see what type of test actually comes through. It's not a whole lot of time, but the thing is, this isn't something, in my opinion, that you just want to sit around with all day just to see which test actually comes through. Now, if you're in a position where you're working at home and you're at your desk, this is something that you can actually have pulled up, and you'll hear the tests when they come through, and then you can just switch over and just see which test you can qualify for. I did that for a little bit, but it can get cumbersome, trying to switch, back and forth. So I had 25 tests, and as you can see, one of the tests was a $30 test. Another one was a $60 test. All the rest of them, though, that you can see, they were $10 tests. So let's add up how much money I made. So, all right. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So 100 plus 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 90 plus 10, 20, 80, 90, 100 plus 100 10, 20, 30 plus 30. All right, so it looks like for September, I made $320. Now, we're going to bring the calculator over here. So we're going to go, we got $320. Now, what I will tell you is that these tests on average took about 20 minutes to actually do. 25 tests, 20 minutes a test. Some took longer than 20 minutes. My longest test took 45 minutes. My shortest test took 5 minutes. It was just literally one question. So really setting up the stuff to go through to get the test ready took longer than it did to take the test, because they only asked me really one question on it. So it was 5 minutes. But when I go through and I look at all of the tests, it was about 20 minutes a test to actually do them. So let me just do this. So 25 tests times 20 minutes, that's basically 500 minutes. If you take 500 minutes and you divide by 60 minutes, that gives you 8.3 hours. So basically, out of these 25 tests, when I add up the total time that it took, it's really only a day's worth of tests. So $320 in 8.3 hours is pretty good. And this is what it comes out to be. So if I take $320 that I made for the month of September on those 25 tests, I divide by 8.3 hours, that basically says I made $38.55 an hour. So my question to you is that good money for you? I think that's really good money, because the majority of America is not making that much an hour. When you look at people who are making 20 or 25,000 or maybe 35,000 a year, they're not making that much, an hour. Now, I'm not saying this is how much you're going to make every month. It depends on what test you qualify for. It depends on how many tests are actually coming through, how much time you're actually dedicating into doing it. And like I said, this did get cumbersome for me just because of the fact that I have so much other stuff that's going on. This was really just some research to see how much money can I actually make. And basically, that's what it came out to be. So if this is something that interests you, I would say go ahead, sign up for an account on usertesting.com. It's not hard to sign up for the account. You will need a PayPal account, because that is the way that they pay you. And just to kind of show you with all of these, I've already been paid, the money, for these. And it comes in about 7 days after you have actually taken the test. And if you go over to the Help Center, they will have let's see, well, they don't tell you on this particular one, but when you're signing up, there is a frequently asked questions that you can go to, and it will show you the different things that you can actually, it will show you about getting paid. So here it is right here. So getting paid, find the answers to your questions about payments here. Payment schedule. Let's see, all participants are paid through PayPal. You must have a confirmed PayPal account in good standing to receive payments. Payment for a standard 15 to 20 minute website or app test is $10. For live conversation tests, which I did 2 of those, the compensation is $30 for a 30-minute session and $60 for a 60-minute session. And I had a 30-minute session and I had a 60-minute session. The 60-minute session only lasted 45 minutes. So, like I said, get PayPal. And then down here, payment time. Payment is received exactly 7 days after the test is completed, including the time of day. So if you complete a test at 5:00 p.m., you should expect to be paid around 5 p.m. 7 days later. Occasionally, PayPal has 24 to 48 hour delays on payments, so please wait an extra 48 hours before contacting support on a payment issue, since it should resolve itself. Now, one thing that I do want you to know is when you do your first test, it's not 7 days. It takes a little bit before you get paid on that very first test. And I started this just to set this account up. You'll see right here back in March in this year. And this was something that I just wanted to see if I could actually do. And you'll see I did a simple test, and I did get critiqued on it. They gave me 4 stars. It just says, overall, good job on your first test. Please note that most tests are not this short. A typical test should take you around 15 to 20 minutes to complete. This test largely consisted of verbal, written, and rating response questions. When asked to provide a verbal response, rate your response, or provide a written response, please take time to verbally explain your answer. This helps the customer better understand your thought process. It also helps to read the task out loud before answering it to ensure that you are thorough in your response and have completed what has been asked of you. Remember, an essential part of being a test participant is the ability to speak your thoughts as you complete the task. Unless otherwise specified, you should always assume that you are to speak your thoughts out loud during a test. The more you explain why you do things and what you are expecting, the more useful your video will be for the customer. So that was my first one back in March. And that was March 16th. And then you can see I sporadically, try different tests here and there. And then I got to the point where I just wanted to see how many tests can I get, approved for and then get paid for. And as you can see, my research for me only, based on the knowledge and the background that I have, I was able to get 25 tests in the month of September. They range from $10 an hour up to $60 an hour. On average, I think it was about $12 and $12 and something per test. Once you average out how many tests you actually have, I think I made about $12 a test. But the big piece of this is 20 minutes a test, 25 tests, basically broke down to 8 hours and 8.33 hours is what it came out for those 20 tests. And the money I made ended up being $38.55 an hour. So if you're not making $38.55 an hour and you want to try this, I suggest going on usertesting.com, completing the application. It's simple. Make sure you have a PayPal account because you can't get set up on here without a PayPal account, and try it out. What do you have to lose? I mean, I made $320. Wasn't hard to do in 8 hours. I think that's great. Let me know your thoughts. If you have any other questions and you want some support on trying to get set up or how to actually do the test, check out one of my other videos because I do show exactly how you would do a user testing once you actually got approved for their site. Let me know any thoughts that you have. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. But thank you again for tuning in to My Show Publisher. We're living that passive income life one idea at a time. Thanks.